Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 61. So, there isn't really too much to go over this week. It's actually another pretty quiet week, and, like has been the case for a while now, I don't have any pickups to go over, so we are going to be jumping straight into those topics, but, yeah, still some very interesting stuff, so let's just jump straight into it.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
And starting off with another kind of update, I guess, from Warhammer themselves. This time around, unlike last time where it was warehouse closures, this time it is actually 2024 pricing update, which is not unexpected, but also not great news in general. We don't like to see price increases, especially when, insert joke about, current climate when it comes to how much money people have and how much they have to spend on, living. But, yeah, essentially everything is going to be going up between 3 and 5%, and there are some caveats to that. Some things won't actually be increasing due to the fact that the prices have already been, worked into it. Essentially, a lot of the changes that happened for the move to 10th edition for 40k, they're being brought over to the wider world of Warhammer, and yeah, it's not ideal, but we have to live with it, unfortunately. And the example that they actually give in the article is that a squad of Necron warriors goes up $2. That's from $50 to $52, £30 to £31.50, and €40 to €41. And obviously you can get the local currency equivalents through those. But yeah, it's not the biggest deal. It's not the biggest problem. It's just disappointing. It feels like it wasn't that long ago at all since we got the last price increase. And yeah, realistically, none of us are richer. That's, generally the truth. And, the hobby getting more expensive is going to make it more difficult for newcomers. It's going to, just make it less accessible, as, so many things do now with the community. And yeah, in general, I'm just kind of disappointed that it does mean that it's going to be harder for people to actually get the models that they want. I'm fortunate enough that generally, when I actually really want something, like I did with all the, now retired models from Tau, all the crew models that I wanted, I was able to just get them. I'm in a fortunate enough position where I can just do that, but I know not everyone is, and having price increases is not going to help that. I don't really want to go into too much of a rant on this, but yeah, it's just kind of disappointing to see a price increase, and yeah, it doesn't feel great. And just as a side note, this is something else that's listed in the article, so I may as well mention it. In Sweden and Norway, the average price change will be between 8% and 14%. I don't know why that is, but yeah, there you go. So it's 3 to 5% on average for most places, but then for some reason, Sweden and Norway, 8% and 14% increases. So yeah, I don't know why, but that's not great for them especially. And yeah, in my opinion, I think this is a little bit high, and it's getting very expensive just to, play the hobby in general, especially like reading that Necron Warriors are going to be $52. That's insane to me. Like $31.50, Great British pounds, not, extortionate in my opinion, but like when I read the US prices for any Warhammer already, knowing that it's $50 currently is ridiculous. That's too much. Knowing it's going to be $52, yeah, no, it's getting ridiculous for the US. I feel sorry for all the people that play in the US, but yeah, there we go. That is the 2024 pricing update. Hopefully next week they don't drop more news about how things are getting, worse, or there's going to be more problems or whatever else. But yeah, to be fair, last week it wasn't that big of a deal. It was warehouse closures, but I'm not going to get back into that. Let's just move on. And we have some pretty interesting news for those who like to, cosplay, or as they refer to it within the article, LARP. And yeah, that is some brand new Empire weapons from Bergschneider, who make really high quality LARPing gear, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. And yeah, a bunch of old world weapons are going to be made into, replica style props, and I think that's just really cool. Obviously it's LARP gear, so it is, at least on the surface, seemingly intended to actually be used, in a fight against other LARP equipment, which is always pretty cool. Obviously these are not going to be metal, or I assume not. The article doesn't make it that clear. I think they're all plastic and foam, so I could be wrong there, but yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy. I've made it very clear in the past, but these are cool. These are very neat. And, you know, if they have anything that really stands out to me, like already seeing like the bone swords and stuff that they're showing in the pictures, I may pick up one of these. I know Bergschneider is a very high quality brand, and I know they can be a little bit expensive from what I've seen in the past, but yeah, very much looking forward to seeing more of this stuff, more, you know, cosplay items, more LARP gear, you know, props in general, always really cool, and, you know, hopefully this can expand into, at the very least, some Age of Sigmar stuff, because there's some really, really cool weapons in Age of Sigmar that I'd love to have physical replicas of. But, yeah, it's just some fun news, really. I quite like this, even though it's not a aspect of Warhammer that I'm overly interested in. You know, the old world is not something that I care too much for. It's still pretty cool, and it does open the door to a lot of future things. And I'm not going to say, oh, they definitely should do 30k and 40k. I'm pretty sure that's not really Bergschneider's kind of wheelhouse. I know they don't typically make, you know, sci-fi. To my knowledge, I've never really seen anything sci-fi from them. That might be completely wrong. That is based off just what I've seen. But, yeah, I like the concept. I like the idea of getting physical replicas of, you know, miniature weapons. And this is just another great way that we're going to be able to do that officially, which is really, really cool. No 3D printer required, eh? But moving on to some 40k, we now have the entire Combat Patrol announcement for the Chaos Space Marines. And this one, like I said with the Tau, is kind of disappointing, especially as someone who does legitimately care about Chaos Space Marines. And it's an interesting box. Not one that I think is all that special, but if you are literally starting from scratch or just really want these units, I guess it's fine. So essentially, this is Zarkan's Demonkin, and it is led by a Master of Possessions. He is backed up by 10 Chaos Cultists, which is the standard box, 10 Legionaries, which are your standard Chaos Space Marines, and it's also the standard box size for them, as well as 5 Possessed, which, once again, normal box size for them. Though it does appear, at least from the pictures, to have the 2 variants that aren't normally in the regular box. So the regular box includes 5, I believe. It's been a while since I've had to buy them, because I literally bought 2 boxes and never thought about it again. But, yeah, I believe in there's 3, like, different... Is there? I'm actually misremembering, I think. I think there's 3 different ones, and you get 2 of them. I may be wrong there. That might be a different box I'm thinking of. But yeah, Possessed, I believe, are like that normally. Here you're getting 5 unique models, which is very cool, very neat. You know, it is probably the best thing about here, that you're getting unique Possessed. They look pretty cool. I quite like them. And yeah, that's the thing. That's the box. And that is fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But, like, it's generic as anything. You know, I like combat patrols where you can kind of, you know, mass build them, you know, get 2 or 3 of them. And I feel like this one, even though there's no named characters, which is great, that's a great step up, you don't really want that many, you know, Possessed. You don't really need that many cultists. You know, in Master Possessions, it can be good to have, like, 2. Especially if you modify one of them into just a different Chaos Space Marine leader. But realistically, like, you're not wanting more than... I'd say you don't need more than 10 cultists, but I have 30, so I can't really say anything. I'm not a great example, because my Chaos Space Marine army is absolutely insane. I have, as I say, 2 boxes of Possessed. I have 3 boxes of Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Cultists even. I only actually have 1 box of Chaos Space Marines. I think I have just, like, a few different random ones I've picked up over time. It doesn't really matter. This is not a great box, in my opinion. It's fine, especially if you are starting from scratch. If you don't currently have a Chaos army, this is actually a good start. It's a good selection. It gives you a good variety of, you know, what you actually have at your hand, and it does have its own stratagem that is included with this very specific setup. So if you're interested in that, that's pretty good. Point-wise, I think from memory, this is actually alright. And that's the thing. There's so many things that I'm like, this is fine, this is good. But as someone who already has literally every single one of these units, except for the Master of Possessions, because I don't care about it as a leader, I don't know. There's something about this that just tells me I should not recommend it, and I'm not going to. That's really it. I'm not going to ramble too much about this now, but yeah, it's once again just like the Tower Box, not too special. But moving over to Age of Sigmar, we have a very cool new model for the Skaven Warplock Jezzails. And first off, I have no clue what that word means. I assume it's just a historic word that means like cannon on shield or something. I don't actually know. But yeah, this is two Skaven, two rat boys, hidden behind a shield with a big sniper rifle on top, and I love it. I honestly think this is excellent. There is actually a bunch of different ones, but that's what each model is. It's just two little rat boys operating what is essentially a long rifle on a shield, and I just think that's really, really funny. I also can't help but notice all of the forward Skaven have a blade, so I really wonder what the melee is like for these things. I know that's a really dumb thing to say about a clearly ranged unit, but yeah, I can imagine like you get an enemy unit close enough to you, you're going to just stab them, which I think is just funny. But yeah, very, very cool. A very fun aesthetic overall. Skaven are kind of known for just being the faction in AOS that can't help but use guns. I know obviously every faction kind of has guns to some extent, but yeah, the Skaven just take it to a whole new level, and yeah, these guys look great. I really like them. Overall, the models look great. I once again, with all these new Skaven models that we're getting, I just want to get them and paint them and just enjoy having rats. I love the rats so much. They're one of my favourite things to paint, even though I don't really care for playing them. They're just cool. I like them a lot, and yeah, hopefully we get some Skaven as like monthly models at some point, in the near future. But yeah, I love these guys. They're great. That's my review. They're great. But that does leave us with our final topic of the week, and that is, of course, the Rumour Engine for the 7th of May 2024, and it does appear to be something reptilian, and I'm just going to throw it out there immediately. I think this is Seraphon. I think this is a new, big creature for the Seraphon. That's my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. We haven't really seen anything that recently. Well, we saw the entire range refresh for the Seraphon, but beyond that, like, we haven't seen anything for a little while now. I think it's about time we get a new character. That's just my opinion right now. I love my Seraphon. Seraphon and Skaven are two armies that I do not build. I build them occasionally. I do not play, should I say. But I love and adore, and it's because they are so fun to paint, and the variety of models you get are just excellent. But yeah, this looks very interesting. I hope it is something for Seraphon and not just like a dragon for Cities of Sigmar or something. I doubt it would be, but like it would really bug me if that was the case. But yeah, it's a spiky, scaly creature, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. I really do hope it's Seraphon. That's my personal want from this. But honestly, if it ends up being, a dragon for any faction, or just something completely unrelated to what I'm thinking, that's fine. If this ends up being a shield for something, that's fine. I just hope a lot that this is a new Seraphon big monster character sort of thing. And yeah, that is really all I can say about it. It looks great. I really like it. The scale design is very unique as well. But I digress. I'm going to move on from it. And that is really everything. So with that all being said, that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Of course, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. And otherwise, comment below any thoughts and feelings about any of the topics we've gone over. I'm interested in hearing what people think about the price update. Am I taking it a little bit too seriously? To me, it's the wrong direction. I'm not saying they should have gone down in price, but I just think they shouldn't have had a price increase. I understand that, as materials get more expensive and, as transport and manufacturing can, up in price, and as they have to pay people more to, counter the fact that, everything's more expensive now, it is going to increase costs. I get that, but it just, I don't know, for me, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like, especially with how good GW are doing right now, and, say what you will about any of the recent controversies and stuff like that, but they are very popular. They're doing really well right now, and they have a lot of very popular products. It's just kind of disappointing that once again we're just seeing prices increase for seemingly no real reason. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but we'll survive. I just wanna take